So I was putting a new roll of toilet paper on the holder last week, just a normal Tuesday, when I noticed something I'd never really paid attention to before. There was a gap on both sides of the roll. The paper didn't reach the edges of the spindle anymore, and I thought, that's weird. I could have sworn it used to fit. Turns out, I wasn't imagining it, and what I found when I started pulling the actual numbers goes way deeper than a narrower roll. Here's where this starts. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics tracked monthly packaging changes across every consumer category from January 2015 through December 2021. They counted 716 separate downsizing events in household paper products alone. 716. That's more than any other category in the entire economy, more than snack foods, which came in second at 509. Paper products aren't just part of the downsizing trend, they are the trend. And the Government Accountability Office backed it up. The GAO analyzed 5 years of purchase data and scanner records and found that product downsizing contributed 3.0 full percentage points to inflation in household paper products, the highest rate of any grocery category they examined, higher than breakfast cereals. At 1.6, and their data showed downsizing was pushing the household paper consumer price index up by a full annualized percentage point every single month between May 2021 and April 2022. And then again from July 2023 through February 2024. So this isn't a guess, it's not a feeling. The federal government measured it and said, paper goods got hit the hardest, period. And here's the part that makes this land differently. A YouGov survey from 2023 found that 73% of adults already had active concerns about packaging getting smaller at the same price. Within that group, 35% specifically named paper goods as the category where they'd personally noticed it. People aren't oblivious. They sense something is off every time they reach for a new roll sooner than they expected. They just haven't seen the data laid out in one place before. Until now. I needed to see the actual product level numbers, and I'm going to start with one brand, Angel Soft, because what happened to Angel Soft tells you everything about how this entire industry operates. Angel Soft Mega Rolls dropped from 425 sheets per roll to 320. That's 105 sheets gone. A 24.71% reduction in a single cycle. But that's only half of it. At the same time they cut the count, they also narrowed every individual sheet from 4.0 inches to 3.8 inches wide. So you're losing sheets and each remaining sheet got physically smaller. That gap I saw on my holder, that's the missing 0.2 of an inch on every single sheet, on every single roll. Georgia Pacific, the company behind Angel Soft, responded to this publicly. They stated the new sheets are 20% thicker and that enhanced thickness delivers equal usability despite the lower count. I want to be fair about that. It's their position. But even if each sheet is denser, 105 fewer sheets means you're reaching for a new roll sooner, and the price tag didn't come down. Now, if this were just one brand making one change, maybe you shrug it off. But I'm saving the part about how they disguise all of this for later, because the packaging tricks are honestly the most unbelievable part of this whole thing. First, let me show you how wide the pattern actually goes. Charmin Ultra Soft, the 12 mega roll pack, went from 284 sheets per roll to 244. That's a 14.08% reduction. The Ultra Soft Mega Roll separately dropped from 2,064 to 2,042, an 8.33% cut, and the Ultra Strong Mega from 308 sheets down to 286% to 7.14%, a reduction that started back in 2017 and kept going through 2021. Procter & Gamble put out a detailed statement. They described something called comfort cushions, designed to boost softness, a more flexible ultra-strong sheet, and a reduced width meant to help flushing. They also said fibers were moved from the edges to the center of the sheet, where you need them most. That's their engineering rationale. Maybe the sheets do perform differently, but what none of that explains is the arithmetic. Fewer sheets, same receipt. Cottonelle went through the exact same window. The Ultra Comfort 12 Mega dropped from 284 to 244% to 14.08%, identical to Charmin's number. The Ultra Clean Care Strong Mega fell from 340 to 312. Even the Ultra Gentle line lost sheets, going from 284 down to 268. Kimberly-Clark, which makes Cottonelle, acknowledged reducing sheet width all the way back in 2007 from 4.5 inches to 4.2, calling it in alignment with other premium brands. In recent economic briefings, they pointed to rising pulp, energy, and distribution costs requiring price adjustments between 4% and 9%, executed partly through packaging shifts. So we've got Charmin, Angel Soft, and Cottonelle, the three biggest names in the category, all cutting sheets in overlapping timeframes. This isn't coincidence. It's an industry moving in lockstep. But here's what genuinely caught me off guard. I figured the store brands would hold. That's the whole reason people buy them. You trade the name for the savings. That math doesn't work if the store brand is shrinking too. Walmart's Great Value Ultra Strong Bath Tissue went from 286 sheets per roll down to 242, 15% gone. And their Great Value paper towels dropped from 168 sheets to 120. That's 48 sheets per roll, a 28.57% cut, almost a third of the roll, while the shelf price sat at $14.97. Walmart's CEO Doug McMillon has spoken about managing pricing by working with suppliers on packaging sizes to stabilize entry price points. But the result on the shelf is the same. And Costco, okay, this is the one that really caught me. Kirkland's Signature Bath Tissue, the bulk buy. The one people stock up on, specifically because they believe buying in volume protects them from exactly this kind of thing. It dropped from 425 sheets per roll to 380. Do the math across a full 30 roll case. That's 1,350 total sheets you're no longer getting per package. The equivalent of losing more than 3.5 entire rolls from your purchase at an unchanged price point. Costco's response? They updated the packaging label to say the rolls were thicker than ever before. No separate press release, no announcement, just a new claim on the wrapper. Same playbook in the paper towel aisle. Bounty Select A-size triple rolls went from 165 sheets to 147 in 2021. An almost 11% drop. Then in 2025, they were documented going from 135 to 123, another 8.89%. On top of the earlier cut, the double rolls separately shrank from 98 to 90. Bounty has talked about certain product lines using elongated sheets, 7.1 inches versus 5.9, with improved absorbency to compensate. But the sheet count still fell. Even Sparkle, 116 sheets down to 110. Puffs Tissues, 56 per box down to 48. A 14.29% cut. Kleenex Everyday Boxes dropped from 65 tissues to 60. And then there's Scott 1000. This one is clever because the brand literally built its identity on giving you 1,000 sheets. That's the name. That's the promise. And the sheet count technically stayed at 1,000. So, on paper, no pun intended, nothing changed. But Consumer Reports and Consumer Watchdog documentation showed that the surface area of each individual sheet shrank from 4.5 by 4.0 inches down to 3.7 by 4.1 inches. Run the math on that. You go from 18 square inches per sheet to 15.17. That's a 20% reduction in total usable surface area per roll, while the 1,000 sheets claim stays right there on the front of the package, technically accurate and completely misleading at the same time. That kind of move, keeping the headline number intact while quietly removing material underneath it, that's a masterclass in misdirection. Do me a favor right now. Go check your bathroom. Look at whatever roll is on the holder. See how far it reaches across the spindle. Then think about this. Consumer advocate Edgar Dworsky documented that mid-20th century standard rolls held 600 to 650 single-ply sheets, measuring 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. Today, you're getting between 242 and 380 sheets, and the width is down to 3.8 inches. Over the full production history, that's a reduction of more than 60%, from 650 sheets down to 242 on some brands, less than half of what a roll used to contain, and nobody sent a memo about it. Remember that number, 60%, over half the category, downsized. Keep that in your head, because it's about to make more sense. Alright, now here's the part I've been holding back, because this is what turned this from companies adjusting to costs into something more calculated. The first trick is the multiplier math. Every package says something like 12 mega rolls equals 48 regular rolls. Sounds enormous. But what's a regular roll? Mouseprint.org documented that the baseline regular roll in these equations can be as low as 71 sheets. You cannot buy a 71 sheet roll. It doesn't exist on store shelves. It's an invented reference point designed to inflate the multiplier. And here's the detail that broke my brain. Documentation found 11 distinct packaging variants of Charmin Ultra Soft sitting on retail shelves at the same time, with conflicting equivalency claims. 11 versions of the same product. Different math on each one. The second trick is the cardboard core. Manufacturers maintain the outer diameter of the roll by expanding the interior tube and loosening the winding tension. So the roll looks identical on the shelf. Same height, same width to your eye, but it's puffed up with air. Less fiber mass wrapped around a bigger hollow center. Users on the shrinkflation subreddit have posted side-by-side core comparisons that make this painfully obvious. The third one is the perforation redesign. Charmin introduced a wavy, scalloped tear line called Smooth Tear, marketed as an ergonomic improvement that prevents tearing mistakes. Sure, but that curved perforation geometry also changes how much paper you pull per tear, and the redesign launched right alongside transitions into new branded tiers, with adjusted sheet counts. It's a product change and a volume change bundled into one announcement. And if you think any brand is immune, Georgia Pacific's Sparkle paper towels went from 116 sheets per roll to 110. When asked, a spokesperson said they reduced sheet size to match other national brands in the category and put the extra half-inch of material back into the product as additional sheets. That's actually a more transparent answer than most companies gave. Credit where it's due. But the overall direction is the same. Less material per purchase. Across the board. Look, I want to be fair here. Companies are managing real cost increases. Pulp went up. Energy went up. Freight went up. A U.S. Senate report from the Groundwork Collaborative documented that size reductions accounted for approximately 10% of effective price increases in paper essentials during the 2020 to 23 inflationary period. I'm not pretending corporations should absorb every cost forever, but there's a meaningful difference between raising a price and being transparent about it, versus engineering invisible reductions and banking on the idea that nobody will measure the roll. Most people are measuring now. LendingTree found that 60% of tracked household paper products, 12 out of 20 items, had their sheet counts or sizes reduced. Their survey showed 71% of consumers noticed downsizing, 82% said they felt misled, and 66% stopped buying from specific brands that did it. A YouGov survey found 73% of adults expressed concern about packaging shrinking at static prices, with 35% specifically naming paper goods as the category they noticed most. People feel it, they run out of paper faster. And now they know why. And if you're on a tight household budget, this hits harder than most people realize. You can't opt out of toilet paper. You can't wait for a sale on something you need every single day. When the product shrinks, your purchasing cycle accelerates. And that acceleration is invisible on any individual receipt, but devastating across 12 months of grocery runs. So what do? The single most useful change you can make: stop comparing roll counts. Start comparing unit price per square foot. Most shelf tags show a unit price, usually per 100 count, or per square foot. That number cuts through the multiplier branding, the mega versus super mega versus mega XL tiers. All of it. Square footage tells you how much actual paper you're getting per dollar. That's the only number that matters. If you want to test it, here's the move. Next time you're in the paper aisle, pull out your phone, find the unit price on the shelf tag for 3 brands, and compare. Ignore the front of the package entirely. The front is marketing. The shelf tag is math. And if something you noticed belongs in the next video, drop it in the comments. I track every one. Because the next video is the cleaning aisle. Detergents, dish soap, spray cleaners. What I've already pulled together makes paper goods look straightforward. At least with paper you can count the sheets. With liquids they've got a completely different set of moves. And concentrated formula is only the beginning. See you then.